And we all have that opportunity here to serve one another properly. But we have to actually cultivate that mood of wanting to serve one another, wanting to serve each other. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he glorifies three things in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. He actually says that they are very powerful substances, and we should do whatever we can to get them. This is three very powerful substances. They can deliver us, can liberate us from the material world and return us to the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. So three powerful substances that we should beg, borrow, steal, do whatever we can to get. Anyone knows what these three substances are? Nope. Dust from the lotus feet of the Vaishnavas. That's one. Yeah, the remnants of the food eaten by Vaishnavas. And the third one is? Water that has washed the lotus feet of the Vaishnavas. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is a Paramahamsa. He's like very advanced soul, and he's saying you should be very eager to always try to get this. I remember once asking the spiritual master, what does this mean? You know, should we like gang tackle a devotee and put them down and stick their foot on your head? As we've seen sometimes, or steal someone's socks and pour water through it while you're like you know, pin someone down or grab someone's plate, knock them over, start honestly eating. This is eagerness, right? How eager should we be to? And he was explaining, yes, definitely we should be very eager in all of these regards. But he said if he gave the example of Narada Muni, and that Narada Muni was the son of a maidservant, but he got the remnants of the Bhaktiveddantas, but first he asked permission. So he said, that's the best, that you're able to ask permission. And I remember saying, but if you ask permission, they'll never give. Especially if they're humble Vaishnavas. They never, please give me the dust from your lotus feet. Will you permit? Will you grant me permission? Of course not. So I said, so certainly we have to be ready to steal. And he said, yes, but you can do that. You don't have to tackle them down and put their feet on your head. He said, just when someone walks by, you can just take the dust from the ground and put it on your head. He said, because really it's a mentality, it's a consciousness. It's not necessarily that you have to pin them down. It should be a meditation that we actually understand that these things are the most valued items on this planet. The dust of the lotus feet of the Vaishnava, the remnants of food. And you can get that not necessarily by having to take, of course taking is there, but by performing service to the devotees, you're getting their remnants, you're getting that mercy. So in this way we should always be looking out how we can serve the devotees, how we can, what's next? Someone comes in, cushion, making space for devotees. Someone needs a drink. We should always be thinking how I can serve the devotees. Because the more that we're thinking about how to serve the devotees, the more we think of Krishna. The more we think of Krishna, and the less we think of ourselves. Sometimes we can become so absorbed in just our own thing, my own personal thing, this thing, that thing. But the more that we focus on the service of the devotees, the less that we become absorbed in our own kind of concern or worry about our own situation, and the more that we actually make advancement. Hare Krishna. So I'll stop here. Maybe if anyone has one question. So, yes, Dr. Laurie.
You're talking about the devotee who has a relationship with the and you're saying different kinds of personalities transcending the modes without devotional service.
Yeah, there's, and basically we understand, what is it, Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavan, Iti Samvite, that there are three levels of understanding of Krishna, or of Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Brahman, we understand the energy of the Lord. So inside of that understanding, there are many schools of personalities who are coming to the platform of understanding the energy of God and its all-pervading nature. Then they're normally known as the Gyanis. But there are also personalities through different types of karma yoga. You're also performing activities, but really only when it's mixed with devotional service. You transcend. But Gyanis, they can transcend the most material natures. They can achieve a level of perfection. Come to the Brahman platform.
Without engaging in devotional service.
Without engaging in devotional service.
That would be meant for both.
Yeah, in one sense, yeah. Though in another sense, nothing is separate. But yeah, without directly understanding bhakti, they're just cultivating knowledge, and through knowledge they're renouncing, giving up this or giving up that, or negating this, not that. And then Paramatma, understanding the localized aspect of Supreme Lord within the heart, which isn't exactly understanding the Bhagavan aspect. And this is the yogis. They're also acquiring so many cities by doing that, so many apparent perfections, or conquering the material energy, personalities who can levitate, personalities who can manifest something from nowhere, all the different, eight perfections or cities. But it doesn't necessarily mean that they're performing devotional service. You understand?
Yeah. I was just thinking because in my bodies, are they able to transcend the material energy? But they're not engaged in devotional service. So it seems that.
But they're also temporary.
Temporary liberations.
Yeah. Permanent only comes through devotional service. So even someone merges into Brahman effulgence, but they again fall down because they're missing that personal relationship. Is there a question from you?
Yeah, there's a question. For those of us living far from a temple, we don't get much chance to serve. What can we do?
Can you speak up and slowly?
For those that live far from a temple, they don't get much chance to serve the devotees. What can they do?
Those who live far from the temple don't get much chance to serve the devotees. Yeah, there are many ways to perform direct service. Many of you are tuning in online now, asking questions, participating. This is also service. There are 9 processes of devotional service. So, someone who is at home, they can serve in different ways, especially via the medium of the internet, websites, different things, or many things that one can do practically from home. But one can also be a friend to devotees, can be in touch and communicate with devotees, be a support, be a guide, be a comrade and encouragement in spiritual life. In the modern day, you just pick up the telephone and call someone and see how they're doing, and that sometimes can be the greatest service. Just when you need someone to ask you, how's it going, are you okay? So that's also there, being a friend, and service to the devotees. Also, one can get Srila Prabhupada's books, and wherever you live, then you can go out and distribute them, and you can make devotees.